and famine, desolation and disaster are all that remain in Tampico, Mexico, after Hurricane Janet roared in from the Gulf, paused and roared on. Flooded by torrential rains, rivers overflow, turning the big northeast coast city into a vast lake where each wrecked home marks a tragedy. 60,000, 3/4 of the population, are homeless. Except for 36 blocks, every street is flooded. Electricity is out, drinking water nearly exhausted, food low. Wherever they can, the victims seek shelter and food brought by American planes. Tiny refugees cling to the only security they know as they await evacuation by U.S. Navy helicopters. The living search for the dead, numbered in the hundreds, in the worst disaster in Tampico's history. The ancient English homestead of George Washington's ancestors becomes a memorial. Washington Old Hall, a Norman manor house, is accepted for the United States by Ambassador Winthrop Aldrich, receiving the key. With a heavy piece of silver, the ambassador unlocks the door to the home where the first president's forebearers lived over 700 years ago. Mementos of Washington stand in the house, which he himself never saw. Here is a fan presented to Martha Washington by Lafayette. A British committee bought the house and supervised its reconstruction. In the family chapel is the font where Washington's ancestors were christened. And graven in the rugged oak are the ancestral escutcheons and coats of arms, including the Washington shield, remarkably similar to the Stars and Stripes. In England, a new memorial honors the father of America.
South Korea's growing Air Force celebrates its 7th anniversary with a sky-borne show of strength outside Seoul. Sleek supersonic jets spearhead the tiny air armada, while American-built Mustang fighters, spitting their deadly rockets at land targets, symbolize the little republic's determination to stay strong and alert. More than 100 aircraft take part as South Korea's Air Force marks a birthday with the biggest show in its history. In the majestic Alps, half a world away, Switzerland is training disaster teams for aerial rescue missions on towering, snow-swept slopes. Flying over a downed plane in a realistic drill, a volunteer hits the silk to look for survivors. Because the rescuers never work alone, a second parachutist is dropped onto the mountaintop. Numbing cold imperils the dangerous operation. Emergency supplies, including a sled to transport the victims to safety, also tumble out of the sky. Alert action and prompt medical care will pull the survivor through as he's loaded on the sled for the hazardous descent. A daring mountain rescue drill in the Swiss Alps. In America, Air Force interceptors get a fantastic new electronic brain to locate and destroy attacking bombers in any kind of weather. Installed behind a plastic nose, the super brain thinks at lightning speeds and sees in the dark. Only during takeoffs and landings are pilots actually needed. The attacking aircraft show up as blips of light on a scope or screen in the cockpit of the interceptor. Still miles from the enemy, the pilot locks the electronic brain onto the target. Now the interceptor is steered toward the invisible attacker by keeping the dots centered in the circle. An artificial horizon line tells what maneuver the interceptor is in. As the circle gets smaller, the plane must follow a more exact course. The control system fires the rockets automatically at the correct instant to destroy the enemy. A successful strike is signaled by a big X. A wonder weapon of defense, destroying enemies it never sees.
In plaid shirtwaist raincoat, model Fran goes sightseeing on a rainy day in old Vienna. With matching cloche hat and martingale back, her color-splashed coat is an American design by Sherbrooke. Stepping out in Monte Carlo, Fran wears a water-repellent coat of brown flannel with yellow polka dots and detachable collar of yellow velvet. A weather-wise coat for all-weather wear. A new city, Copenhagen, and a new style. A white poplin tab raincoat with matching cloche hat. Pretty and practical, rain or shine. By a Danish canal, another Sherbrooke design. A matching sou'wester coat and hat. A decorative note is the gold tab fastening. American raincoats at home, abroad. Hard-bucking broncs and hard-riding cowhands come together briefly and then go their separate ways at the 30th Annual World's Championship Rodeo in New York City. Cowpokes from many states are competing. Brahma Bulls give them a rugged workout with $14,000 waiting for the winner and injury always in wait for everyone. Rules allow riders only one hand, no saddle, no stirrups, and no glue on the seat of their pants. Bruises and blisters are compliments of the bull. But some get off safely at the end.